Hello and welcome to Staffordshire Libraries. My name's Terry and today I want to share with you one of my very favourite Grimm's fairy tales. It's called Rumplestiltskin. Here goes. There was once a miller who lived in a land where there was also a king. The miller had a beautiful daughter, somebody he was really proud of. And one day he bumped into the king and he didn't know what to say to the king. You don't, do you, when you bump into the king? And to impress the king, he told him that his daughter could spin straw into gold. Why on earth did he say that? The king, of course, was very impressed and wanted to know more. And he said, "This is an art that pleases me well. If your daughter is as clever as you say, bring her to my castle tomorrow, and I'll put her to the test." So the following day, the king met the miller and his daughter, and he took them to a room full of straw. And he said to the daughter, "I'm going to leave you here, and I want you to spin this straw and turn it into gold. And you need to do it before tomorrow morning." So the girl was left alone, her father left, the king left in this room on her own with all the straw. She did not know what to do, and she began to cry. And then there was a knock on the door, and a little man appeared. "Why are you crying, miller's daughter? What's the matter?" "I've got to spin all the straw into gold. It's not my business. I don't know how to do it. What shall I do?" And the man said, "What will you give me if I spin it into gold for you? What will you give me?" And she took off her necklace and she said, "I can give you this." And the man took it and he began to spin. Whir, whir, whir. And he created all these bobbins full of gold. The next morning, the king came and couldn't believe his eyes. He was overjoyed. And he took the miller's daughter to another room with even more straw in this time, and said, "I want you to do exactly the same, and I give you until tomorrow morning." So again, the miller's daughter was left alone, didn't know what to do. There was no sign of the little man this time, and she started to cry again. Then there was a knock on the door, and the little man appeared yet again. "What will you give me this time if I spin this straw and make gold for you? What will you give me this time?" And she took the ring off her finger and said, "I'll give you this ring." And the little man took the ring and he began to work. And he spun all the straw into the gold, just in time for when the king arrived the next morning. And again, the king could not believe his eyes. How lucky am I? He was a very greedy king. This time, he took the miller's daughter to a much bigger room, had far more straw inside, and said, "I want you to turn the straw into gold. by tomorrow morning yet again. And when you do, you'll be my wife, and that will make you the queen of the land. And he closed the door, and he left her to it. The miller's daughter didn't know what to think, didn't know what to do. She didn't really want to be the queen of the land, but what other choice had she got? But then again, how was she going to spin all the straw and make all this gold? There was a knock at the door. And the little man appeared. "What will you give me this time if I help you out and turn all the straw into gold? What will you give me this time?" And the miller's daughter said, "I haven't got anything else. I don't possess anything else. I have nothing." And the man said, "Tell you what, when you become queen, you'll give me your first child." The miller's daughter had no choice. She didn't know what else to do. And she wasn't really sure whether she would be made the queen after all. So she went along with it. And the man spun all the straw, and by the following morning he turned it all into gold yet again. But the king came. Just couldn't believe it. He was so happy. Remember, he was very greedy. He had never seen so much gold in all his life, and couldn't believe his luck. There and then he married the miller's daughter, who became the queen of the land. They were very happy. And 1 year later, they had a child, a little boy. And the queen didn't really think about the little man again. It all seemed a very long time ago. And then one day, there was a knock at the door. And the little man appeared. And he said, "Give me what you promised me. Give me your child." And the queen didn't know what to do. She didn't want to lose her child, of course, but she had made that promise. She offered the little man all the riches of the kingdom, anything he wanted, as long as she could keep the little boy. And she started to cry. And the little man felt pity for her. And he said, "Well, look. What we'll do is I'll give you 3 days to try and figure out my name. Try and work out my name. And in 3 days' time, I'll return. And if you can't tell me my name, I'll take the child. But you have 3 days." So he went. And the queen asked all her servants and all her messengers to go out and about and try and make a list of all the boys' names that they could possibly find. And they came back with this long list, and the following day the little man appeared, knocked on the door and said, "What's my name?" And the queen read out these boys' names: Timothy, Paul, Peter, Jonathan. And all the little man would say is, "That's not my name. That's not my name." So again, second day, the messengers and the servants went out further afield and into the next kingdom to try and find some different names. And the second day, the man appeared, knocked on the door, entered, And the Queen, this time, read out all these new names, these very strange names like roast ribs, sheep shanks, or even spindle shanks. But all the man would say is, "That's not my name. That's not my name." The third day, the messenger came back and said this time that although he couldn't find any new names, he had come across this strange man in the woods. He was doing a little dance, and as he was dancing, this is what he said: "Today I bake, tomorrow I brew. The day after that, the Queen's child comes to me. And oh, I am glad nobody knows that my name is Rumplestiltskin." Not long after, there was a knock at the door. The man appeared. "Well then, it's the third day. Tell me what my name is." And the Queen said, "Well, could it be Jack by any chance? Or might it be Peter? Could it be Peter? Or could it be Rumplestiltskin by any chance?" "The devil told you that," said the man. "The devil told you that." And in his anger, he stamped with his right foot so hard that it went into the ground above his knee. And then he seized his left foot with both his hands, and in such a fury, he split into two. And that was the end of him. I hope you enjoyed that. Until next time.